starting off with Championship BBQ.TV, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show, a show that talks about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling. We broadcast live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio, each and every week. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you on your Tuesday. What's up? What's good? If you want to jump in on the show tonight, I am more than happy to have you, whether it be through email or a phone call. If you can bring outstanding content to the world of live fire, this is how you do it.
You can get in touch with the show by calling 216-220-0966. Email Greg at the BBQCentralShow.com. On the Twitter and Instagrams at BBQ Central Show.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening, in case you didn't get the newsletter. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, it is the first Tuesday of the month as we begin the second quarter of 2019 from a business and show perspective. That, of course, brings two regular guests, the first of which is the creator of How to Barbecue Right, or HowToBBQRight.com. He's also the pitmaster of Killer Hogs Competition Barbecue Team, maker of rubs. Overall good guy, outdoorsman to the hilt. We will rejoin Malcom Reed. We have a lot of things to talk about with Malcom, not the least of which is jerky. And I'm not talking about you're not being nice, so you're being kind of jerky, but actually jerky, deer meat, a lot of deer stuff. He'd went on a deer hunt, I believe. Was it towards the end of last year? Actually, trying to get to deer talk the last couple of segments with him, and it just hasn't gone via the outline. So if you are a proponent of the deer meat, if you got your hands on some deer meat for the first time over hunting season, you're not sure what you want to do with it, then you're going to want to stay tuned for the segment I have planned next segment with Malcom Reed. We'll also talk about a bunch of other stuff. Maybe we'll hit the new Traeger grill that he got his hands on. So we'll see what happens. Malcom Reed coming up shortly. Then, after Malcom Reed, I will load in what will be a special announcement when he comes on. Typically, you find him here sporadically, 2-3 times a year, maybe 4, depending on what he's got going on and what his availability is. Something new to announce when he actually shows up in about 32 minutes from now. But he is a friend of mine when it comes to talking culinary. He is a friend of mine when it comes to not talking culinary, just a friend. On the West Coast, huge regional celebrity, budding national celebrity, 13 or 14-time Emmy Award-winning friend of mine, multiple-time cookbook author, TV show host, cooking class leader, all that stuff. Sam, the cooking guy, Sam Zion, will be joining me. We have no less than 5 or 6 subjects to get into. Some recipes that he has been showing on his YouTube page. By the way, and I know many of you are, if you're not following Sam or if you haven't subscribed to Sam's YouTube page, just go to YouTube and search The Cooking Guy or Sam the Cooking Guy, and then his little icon will come up, and then quickly subscribe. You can usually find his stuff if you follow him on other social media channels as well, and then get the link to the YouTube stuff. But what him and Max have decided to put together here over the last year or so is truly remarkable. The growth and the continued effort that he is putting into the cooking. But more importantly, when I'm watching it, it is always from a way more discerning eye than the general public. How's the editing? How's the lighting? How's the sound? Not to be redundant. And they're hitting on all marks, plus the time frame that they're doing it in. It holds all the way through. Certainly there's a lot of Sam's personality and entertainment and info giving, but it's just such a great experience, and you're not in there for 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. Get some good comedy, get a lot of great cooking info, entertainment on top of that. You're in and out in about 17 to 20 minutes. Perfect, right on time. So Sam, the cooking guy, will be joining me to close out the second hour. Then we will move, to close out the first hour, then we'll move to the second hour. 14 past the second hour, I will be rejoined by Vice President of Head Country Barbecue Sauce. Head Country, of course, known for the sauce, but we will be talking about some of the other products that they should be known for just as well. We'll also be talking about the National Barbecue Association's upcoming event, probably starting mid to late week, and that'll stretch through the weekend. I was at that event last year, but I won't be going this year. Might be talking about why I'm not going to do that. So plenty of stuff to catch up with Paul Shoddy on from Head Country. And then to close it out, she was on just a couple months ago for the first time. Huge Instagram following. Really great cooking website. Does videos, very interactive. As we had found out last time, a park ranger as well in Nevada. Christie Vanover, founder of girlscangrill.com. She will help me close out the show tonight. Lots of stuff to get to with Christie, what her 2019 competition season looks like, both from a cooking team standpoint, the team name, by the way, Girls Can Grill. Also from a judging perspective, what she has on the docket. She is both sides of the fence there. She is a competition cook, but she is also a certified barbecue judge. We'll also hit on quick dinners. A lot of people love quick dinners. A lot of people complain that, oh, we buy out a lot because I just don't know what to cook. I know Sam's really big on doing that as well when you watch a lot of his videos. It's all stuff that you're going to be able to prepare 30 minutes or less. Christie's got some great ideas for you to implement in your household as well. So there you go. Malcom Reed, Sam the Cooking Guy, first hour. Paul Shoddy, Christie Vanover, second hour. Is that enough? 216-220-0966. If you want to jump in, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com is your email address. By the way, we are now 12 days away from the Barbecue Hall of Fame nomination sequence being closed down. As I've mentioned, week after week, it is my fervent want to get John Marcus into the Barbecue Hall of Fame this year. So please, as you are watching the show tonight, or as you are listening to the show on podcast tomorrow or the next day or whenever the hell you'll get it, as long as it's before April 14th, head on over to the Barbecue Hall of Fame website, go into the nominations category, and then fill out the due paperwork and questionnaires for one John Marcus. Would love to see if we can't get him in, so please do me that solid. By the way, shoot me an email. Let me know that you did. You don't have to copy me on everything and all that crap. Just let me know that you did it. Would love to verify that he got his name in there, or is at least in the talkings. Would also love to get any back channel on who's getting in or where that final 9 is going to be before it's pared down to 3, so we can talk about that on the show. No Names Please got me that last time, so we'll see how that works out. So do that for me. Again, all nominations must be submitted by February 14th, the day before tax day. That is exactly 12 days from now. Do not wait. As I had said, if you are watching tonight and you have nothing better to do or you don't want to watch me, I certainly get that. Go to the Barbecue Hall of Fame website and fill out that paperwork for John Marcus. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go to end the segment, and it's got to be here. Well, I want to recap a little bit of the show last week. Yesterday can't go unnoticed, and I can't not put my 2 cents into it. Yesterday's April 1st. To me, that's all it is, April 1st. Another day on the calendar. Hit the workplace, try and sell some trucks, try and book some guests, doing some show prep, working a lot, making things happen. April 1st, looking forward to April 2nd, and the end of April and into June and all that stuff. But for some of you, April 1st is April Fool's Day. Like my Oklahoma embedded correspondent. For instance, by the way, I personally believe that U.S. Americans that celebrate, and by celebrate I mean take part in elaborate pranks to say April Fools, is a bag move. Few things are more baggy than April Fool's jokes. Dressing up in Halloween, if you're over like 12 or 13 years old, that's pretty baggy. But the April Fool's Day pranks is ultra baggy, to the point where one April Fool's Day, he called all of his coworkers to say, hey, my car has to go to the shop. Can you please meet me at so-and-so's garage and bring me into work? And he called all of his cohorts. And one by one, they show up at said garage. Well, meanwhile, Mr. Oklahoma's at work, yucking it up. So he calls the guy at the shop, says, hey, trot out and tell all those guys, I'm already at work. April Fools, bag move, David. Come on, man. You did that? You tricked your kid into thinking the car got stolen? April Fools! We got to get you out of that. There are better things in life than being April Fool's guy. Things that are better than April Fools, Matt Eads' new book, Grill Seeker, Basic Training for Everyday Grilling. That's right. From the battlefields of Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Bosnia, his state-of-the-art outdoor kitchen, Matt Eads is looking to unite people through grilling. No matter race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, cultural upbringing, socioeconomic standing, political affiliation, cooking over fire brings people together. That's the bottom line. Differences get set aside. Business gets done. That's why you should order your copy of Grill Seeker Basic Training for Everyday Grilling right now. It actually drops next week. The focus of Grill Seeker to show readers that gourmet grilling doesn't have to be just a weekend activity. With Matt's tips and tricks, you can craft amazing meals and create amazing memories for family and friends every night of the week. The memories and the camaraderie that grilling has created for Matt, dating back to his teen years, and throughout his time in the Marines, fuel the desire to spread his passion for outdoor cooking. They're also the reasons he started the United by Flame movement on social media. You can find that by using hashtag United by Flame. Don't forget, you can hit his website, grillseeker.com up, and then at the very top of the website above his logo is that United by Flame link. Check out the page if you are so inspired. Take a picture and send it to Matt in front of your grill or smoker or barbecue pit or all of those things, and then send it over to him. He'll put it up on that page. And now you're hashtag United by Flame. You're part of the movement. Come on, man. This book is going to be great. Again, next week at release. Just a week or so out. Again, Grill Seeker Basic Training for Everyday Grilling. If you have any questions on how you can get it, go to my website, thebbqcentralshow.com, and then click on the Grill Seeker logo. Or go to my home page and then at the Amazon link at the top, click through there, search Grill Seeker. All the great stuff. But click on the logo. It's easy enough. All right, when we come back, Malcom Reed. We'll be talking deer. We're going to be talking steak competitions. We're going to be talking maybe Traeger grills. Who knows? Ribs. Temping ribs? Stand by. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
And this portion of the show being brought to you by Butcher Barbecue, makers of award-winning injections, marinades, rubs, seasonings, grilling oils, just to name a few. All of Butcher Barbecue products tested on the competition circuit as well as backyards worldwide. Be the pitmaster of your neighborhood and visit butcherbbq.com to stock up right now. Always trust your butcher. All right. First Tuesday of the new month brings a visit from the guy who has created How to BBQ Right, also the pitmaster of Killer Hogs Competition Barbecue Team. We race to the hotline and welcome back Malcom Reed to the show. Malcom, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm good, Greg. Man, it's hard to believe quarter one is over.
That's right. Done with quarter one. So let's look back on a quick 3-month span. Where does Malcom Reed and How to BBQ Right and Killer Hogs all sit after Q1 of 2019?
Man, it has been so busy. We haven't had time to come up for air. I've done a lot of traveling and trying to make some good videos, and we're starting to get into our competition season. So, hey, man, we're hitting the ground running.
All right, so before we talk about all the barbecue and grilling and deer stuff that we have on the agenda this evening, obviously NCAA's is pretty big right now. Final Four has been seeded. Who do you have going to the finals, Malcolm? Let's get on record and make our picks. Here we go.
My bracket is wrecked, man.
Oh,
I don't have a
no.
team left in it.
Really?
But, Michigan State, maybe, because they're coming on, and I'll tell you what, Auburn's playing good ball, man, coming out of the SEC like they have. Nobody saw that coming.
No, I think Texas Tech, certainly if you follow NCAA basketball, you've seen what they've done the last couple seasons. Probably not a surprise to the real fans of Texas Tech, but from a national stage, I don't know how many people know about Texas Tech or know what the program they've been putting together over the last couple years, and to see them play on this kind of a stage is truly remarkable. They look very formidable at this moment.
I was kind of shocked that the number one seed performed the way they did. That ACC was so strong this year, and I'm not a big college basketball guy until you get to tournament time, and then we've seen some crazy games, and it's been like edge of the seat stuff. I've really enjoyed it.
No doubt. This past weekend was certainly edge of the seat stuff, as you were just mentioning. So I think I'm going Michigan State, and man, for some reason, and I have no professional experience to make this pick other than I think I just feel good. I think Auburn's going to beat Texas Tech, to be honest.
I think it's going to be a good game. Yeah. I mean, if Auburn keeps playing up and down the way they have been, it's going to be exciting.
Can't wait to see what happens this coming weekend. And we're talking with Malcom Reed, howtobbqright.com, one of the websites. Also, you have Killer Hogs BBQ as well. So I just saw in a recent video, Malcolm, you were doing some ribs and taking us through a process. And as you were, by the way, I saw something very unique as you were taking ribs like out of the foil that I never thought about doing. We'll get into the minutia there here in a second, why I thought that was a really great idea. Are you really temping your ribs? Is that a thing?
I always said I never temp ribs. I always go by feel and kind of look at them. And then Heath Riles came on and did a video with me. I guess that was towards the end of last year, his comp ribs.
I remember that.
Killing it. He'd been killing it. And he said he always temps them, and he's always looking for 204. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start temping ribs. And sure, I mean, I can check them and feel. It's like, yeah, this slab's done. And it's always right around that range. And they might be 202, but they're going to be somewhere like 202, 206, 207. I think that's just the nature of it. I don't get caught up in checking them like that, but I just, it's just a little another safety valve, I guess, to see where they're at. You're really going by feel. When you stick that probe in and it just slides in, that's what you're looking for. It's not so much what the temps read, it's how it feels, the resistance.
Are you injecting ribs at all?
No, but I've heard some guys are, so it might be something I start playing with.
I mean, maybe that's why a lot of guys like those Smithfield extra tender ribs. I mean, those are technically enhanced ribs, so in
Sure.
every respect, they've already been injected.
And, most of the ribs you get out there they're pre-brined. They add salt to them when they pack them. One thing, it makes them sell them for a little more money, but it makes it better for the home cooked where the meat tastes good. That's why I've always heard they do it. It's not natural. They don't, pork doesn't come pre-brined like that, but it does make a difference. I mean, you can tell have you tried those Smithfield extra tenders? I mean, they they'll get salty on you quick if you don't watch what you put on them because of what's already in there.
No doubt. Malcolm, one of the other things that I just referenced it is as you are going through the unwrapping of the ribs process, you do something that allows you like easy access. You're not basically taking all of the racks back out of the cooker.
Yeah, I always like to, when I do my foil, I think of coming up over the bones and bringing it to where I can get back in it so I can check those ribs, Greg, and see if they're tender. And if they are, I open them up just enough to where they're right there on the grate. I can flip them out real easy, put them right back down, kind of dry them out a little bit because, you've nuked the crap out of them in that foil. And you don't want to handle them too much. So, going over to the table, taking them inside, it creates a mess. I found it easy if you take the time, double wrap them with foil, get them out right there on the grill. It makes it so much easier.
And you're going still bone side down when you go into the wrap, correct?
Bone side up in the wrap. I like meat down. Because,
I meant meat down. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep. If you go meat up in the wrap, it gets so hot in there that the meat wants to separate and fall off the bone, and that's where it falls apart on you.
So you just have it closed up around the bone side, so you can just open it up as you open that cooker, take a quick peek. If you like it, you just pull it out, and boom, away you go. That's
it. And
nice.
I will always try to orient the long end of the bone where it's going to have drawback as the end I wrap to. So it actually gets quadruple wrapped because I take the end over, tuck it in, bring the opposite end over. So I've got 4 layers of foil. That way, if there's going to be a puncture, it's not going to happen there. I'm not going to lose all that juice that I put in there.
All right. One of the other things that I've been wanting to get to the last couple segments is deer. Now, I told Jess Prowls was on last week. We actually talked cursorily about deer, more on like knives and stripping and field dressing stuff in the actual woods themselves. A little bit about deer meat, but not too much. So you do this every year, right? You go on a big deer hunt?
That's my off season, man. I think I hunted more this year than I ever have. But from November 15th, which is like when our rifle season, I'm not a big bow hunter. I'm still hunting with a rifle, and so about November 15th all the way to the end of January, it's open for us in Mississippi. So I try to go as many days as I can. But yeah, I was fortunate this year. I killed 2 doe and a nice buck. So I've got 3 deer in the freezer, and plus my son took his first one. So we've got plenty of deer meat here at our house.
All right, so I mean, when you take a gross of 4 deer, what does that net out as far as gross weight of or net weight of usable meat?
Our deer are a little smaller here in Mississippi. We don't have those big Ohio, big winter deer like you guys have.
Yeah, you know why they're so big here in Ohio is because they walk the streets like a gang, and people just throw regular food out. They're totally they have no fear of human beings whatsoever, and they're big and fat and nasty.
Well, it gets colder up there, so they got to put on more weight to make it through the season.
Right.
We don't get that cold, so. Right. But I would say I probably get out of the average deer dressed out, I'm getting 50 pounds of meat. That's a pretty good bit of meat. So, yep. And we try to use all of it. Of course, I love cooking it, and we grind it. We turn it into sausage. We make ground deer. We make bacon burger. I cut up the primals and make steaks. The back straps, the inner loins, all of that is good eating. And a lot of people, they get turned off on deer, but it's usually because they've had some bad experiences with the processor where you don't know what deer you're getting back when you take it to one of these places, unless you've got somebody that is doing it right. And so it can get gamey, and you might not get your deer. You don't know, you know what's going on with it. So I'm really big about breaking it down and kind of doing it myself.
So what you're saying is you could take a deer to a processor, and then I'm bringing Greg's deer in, but I'm getting Malcom's Reed, or I'm getting Malcolm's deer back.
Well,
potentially,
you don't know. They never tell you that, but right. I guarantee you it happens, man. When they're doing, a lot of these guys are, they're processing hundreds, some of them thousands of deer. And it's just hard for them to take it through the whole process to guarantee you're getting, what you brought in. And you don't know, the next guy hadn't drove around with that deer 2 or 3 days in the back of his truck, showing everybody in town, how was it taken care of before it got there. So you never know.
So that's kind of what I'm leading to here is the one thing you hear about deer, inevitably it's gamey flavor. You hear that about some other wild animal as well, but definitely you hear it with deer. So is there a way to avoid that? Is that what you're talking about? Like as soon as you take it, the sooner you can get it to the processor, you kind of weed out some of the gamey flavor, or does something happen during processing that could add a gamey flavor? Or when you get it and you're cooking it, does something that you do in the process either keep it away or add to it?
Well, all of it, you really do want to, get it cleaned, remove it and get it, remove all the innards that you're not going to use, and get the meat, chilled down as much as possible, as fast as possible. That's going to take some of the bad flavor away. But most of it I've found is how it's cut up. If you take off the fat that's there, you take off the sinew, all that silver skin, the tendons, anything that you really don't want to eat, that's where people are getting the bad wild taste from deer. And that's what turns people off. Another one is, they're overcooking it, because it's really, it's such a lean meat, lean protein that you can't really go very much past medium, or it kind of gets a livery type flavor and texture. So it's not really good to overcook deer. The sausages, stuff like that, that's different because people are adding beef fat to it or they're adding pork fat to it. So you got to cook that stuff well done. But the way we eat it, steaks, it shouldn't be gamey or wild tasting at all.
So are you looking at a 135 kind of an internal temperature, or 130 and hope it carries into the mid 130s?
Usually I'm looking like around 125 to 128, something like that. That's the way we like to eat it.
Okay.
Now, 132 to 135 would be fine, but I wouldn't take it on the grill much past 135 because it's going to cook over. Then you're going to be medium well to well, and it's going to be, flavorless at that point. You might as well be eating ground beef or something. You've cooked all the good stuff out of it.
Question from the instant chat here, Malcolm, is what caliber do you prefer when hunting?
Man, I'm kind of a gun guy. I got several. I mean, I carry a 308 with me, but it depends on where I'm shooting. I have a 300 Win Mag, and then I just put a scope on a 30-30 for my son. So, I've got several in the gun cabinet.
Are you a make your own load kind of guy?
No, I haven't. I've never got into that. There's a ton of good manufacturers out there that make some good cartridges. Maybe one day when I get some extra time, like that's going to happen.
Yeah, right. Especially on the pace that you're going, you're going to be lucky to get out for deer season there next November if things keep trending the way they do. We're talking with Malcom Reed.
I'll be back for that, Greg.
All right. That's a non-negotiable. He'll be out in the field ready to take some deer.
That's guaranteed.
That's right. How to BBQ Right, and the pitmaster of Killer Hogs BBQ Team. HowToBBQRight.com is the website. All right. Any other tips or tricks as far as deer is concerned, or favorite recipes, or perhaps cuts that you don't normally think or that you don't usually hear about that are worthwhile?
Well, of course, everybody knows the backstrap. That's like the fillet on the inner loins are something that we always get and we fry up. You can think of like cutting them and kind of chicken fried deer. That's the way we always eat those, and that's the best eating there is. Yeah. And the back straps, that's the loin that goes down the back. But a lot of people overlook the shoulders. You hear a lot of guys, they shoot the shoulders or they give the shoulders away. Those things make some outstanding barbecue, braising them, cooking them low and slow, like we do pork butts, like we do brisket. And it's really fantastic. And actually, that's a recipe that I'm going to put up. I don't have one of those on How to BBQ Right. So it's on my to-do list. Hopefully, I'll get to it here pretty soon.
One of the other things that I saw, not deer, but veal cheeks.
I've never cooked them. I had them for the first time the other day at a restaurant in Oxford, Mississippi.
What do we know about veal cheeks?
I'm telling you what, they're fantastic.
I mean, I've heard of beef cheeks. I think somebody, Martha Stewart was on Stephen Colbert the other night promoting her. I don't know if you knew she's coming out with a grilling cookbook this spring. So, of course, I have my finger firmly on the pulse of everybody putting books out. So she will be putting out a grilling cookbook, which I find a little bit humorous. But, of course, I'm trying to get her on the show to talk about it because I think Martha Stewart on the show would be tremendous. But she was talking about some grilled fish, and she was talking about the rub and how to get it all ready and prepped. And she's pointed to the fish's face. She's like, and then, of course, there's meat in the cheeks there. So, it's been beef cheeks, of course. Then I heard fish cheeks. Now we're talking about veal cheeks. Is cheeks something that's always been around and been popular, or is it starting to come a little bit more in vogue at this point?
Oh, if you've ever had whole hog and you haven't ate the jowl, the cheeks from a hog, you've never had barbecue at its finest. Mm-hmm. The belly and the jowl meat is the best. And of course, I'm not real familiar with beef cheeks. I've had snapper throat, which is like red snapper, like you're talking about. Same thing. It's awesome. So there's just a lot of good meat there in animals. I had never tried it in deer. There's not much to a deer's jowl, but yeah. But if you think about it, Greg, real traditional barbacoa, they would take the heads and they would wrap them up and they'd put them in the ground, cook them for a long time, and that's what they made. That's what they ate. And so it's all that meat. I mean, there's a lot of good meat. The temple, they call it temple meat. It's kind of like right up behind the eye socket. In pork, it's awesome. I'm sure it is in beef too. But there's a lot of good meat up there that most people don't think about eating.
Are you an eyeball eater?
I've tried it one time, and it's not for me, man. I did it kind of on a dare, after a few beers. But it's not for me.
Is it because it's just kind of weird and it's an eyeball and you can't get over the mental hurdle?
There wasn't anything to it, really. I mean, other than it was just an eye. I didn't think it was delicious or anything. And I'll try anything, but it didn't. Some of that stuff that's not for me. I'll leave that up to Andrew Zimmerman. He can eat all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember having Ted Reeder on last year, or maybe it was the year before, and we were talking specifically about a little project he did on lamb testicles. Are you an oyster guy in that regard?
Yes. Now we always get the Rocky Mountain oysters when we go to Fort Worth. There's calf fries.
Yep.
And I didn't know what to expect going in, and I look for them every time I go. Now they're so good, and it's like eating a really good fried oyster. Texture's the same. There's no strong taste or anything like that. It just tastes like you're eating a really good fried oyster. Now they always serve them with like a white buttermilk gravy, like you think you'd eat with breakfast, or like you would get on chicken fried steak. And they're fantastic. If you've never had them, that's something you should try.
All right, that'll be on the 2-try menu, I think.
Sounds weird, I know.
Well, I mean, look, Ted Reeder did quite an in-depth whole thing, from pretty much getting them right out of the sack, if you will, and then doing a whole prep and the peel back and the brining and how to. I mean, and he did it. He smoked them, he grilled them, he fried them, he did them over a skillet, every way that he could possibly do it, and kind of rated them. This is what tasted best. This is what I would never do again. But he was quite a fan of the overall experience. So, I mean, I've heard more positive things than negative things when it comes to mountain oysters or things of that nature.
I don't know if I'd want to prep them and cook them, but I can handle trying them.
Yeah, I get you. No doubt. Last question before I let you go tonight, Malcolm. If we have the Barbecue Hall of Fame nominations closing here in 12 days, so if you could usurp the process for somebody that isn't already in right now, is there one or two people that you would put in for the class of 2019?
Man, I don't really know who all is in there, but I can think of a bunch of guys that should be. I heard you talking about John Marcus earlier. That was who you're going for.
Yes.
That guy's done more for where I'm at right now as far as putting barbecue back on the map and making it cool with the TV shows and all the production that he's worked on. I've never met him, but I know very well who he is. And for him not to really be a barbecue guy, just to be interested in it and do that, I think that's really cool. From the barbecue standpoint, I don't know if Mike Mills is in there, but he's one of my heroes.
He's in there
already.
Sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys out there that are deserving of it.
Malcom Reed joining me here on the show. What's on tap for videos coming up here over the next 2-3 weeks?
Oh, I did a little hot wing experiment that we're going to release hopefully Thursday.
You were using the Vortex thing, right?
Yes.
How do you like that? How do you like it?
Man, it makes unbelievable chicken. I've never used it for anything but chicken. And it took my chicken wing game to a whole nother level. That's what I cook them on now.
Wow.
You can just put seasoning on it and run them and they get crispy. But I was experimenting with cornstarch and seeing if I could kind of get that grill fried chicken. And it really worked. And it was amazing. I was looking at it as I cooked it. I was like, man, the starch, you're going to taste starch. It's going to be, it's going to be a weird texture because so much of it clung to the skin. But it turned out really good. It was really crispy, and after I tossed it in a wing sauce, it was really, really good. I still have some work to do on it, but I think there's something there.
So that's going to be a YouTube video to come before you got to get it nailed down before you take it to video?
Oh, no, I'm releasing the experiment as is. Okay. So Rochelle's editing it today, and we're going to try to get it uploaded hopefully tomorrow night. If she gets it all to work, and then we'll hopefully Thursday morning it'll be live. So.
All right, cool.
Also did some stuff with the Beefer guys, and maybe we can talk next month and tell you about that experience. If you hadn't seen that thing, it's pretty cool. It's not a grill. I mean, it's kind of more like a salamander you would see in a restaurant. But you think of high heat broiling, it's awesome.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Beefer next time on, because there is like a competing product to a certain degree called the Out of Wild Grill, which is a similar idea. So would love to get your Beefer take and how it cooks and all that, because typically those things are also associated with a little bit of cash, especially when the Germans are involved. So we'll talk about that. In the meantime, you can check Malcom Reed out, How to BBQ Right. You can find him on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at the same handle, How to BBQ Right. And Malcom, you can find him on the first Tuesday of the month right here on the Barbecue Central Show. Malcom, always appreciate the time, man. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, Greg. Looking forward to next month. Have a good one.
All right, man. There he is, Malcom Reed from How to BBQ Right. I mean, can we... all right. Now, can you wait a minute? You give these people times, and they got to be right on time. 50 times. I'll call. Better timing for me. Does it work? Never works. In the meantime, while I yell and yell, I want to talk to you about Southside Market. Established in 1882, Southside, the oldest barbecue joint in Texas. They've been owned and operated by the same family for 3 generations. Famous for the original beef sausage, coarse ground, and a natural pork casing. They also have authentic Central Texas barbecue. All meats, including the prime briskets, are smoked low and slow for many hours over real Texas post oak wood. They ship nationwide via the online store, SouthsideMarket.com. They also ship fresh and smoked sausages nationwide. Shipping customers can choose to order now, ship later, include a custom gift note, mail to multiple addresses without additional charges. All shipped items vacuum sealed to ensure freshness and ease of preparation for the customer. Shipped with dry ice to ensure complete freshness upon arrival. All meats processed in that on-site USDA inspected facility. The meats are smoked fresh. Custom orders are welcome. 2 restaurants if you want to try them out. Elgin, Texas since 1882. That's 1882. Bastrop since 2014. Grocery distribution through Texas and many surrounding states. If you shop online at SouthsideMarket.com, use promo code BBQ Central for 10% off your entire online order. SouthsideMarket.com and then code BBQ Central. So get the sausage slammers, get the beef, or the hot guts as they call it. Jalapeno cheddar sausage, great stuff. Come on. Save 10%. Easy enough. All right, we are back with Sam the Cooking Guy right after this. Stick around, be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rampey.
And this portion of the show being brought to you by CookinPellets.com, your #1 source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. You visit CookinPellets.com for more information, to peruse their flavor offerings, or to purchase. You can also buy on Amazon.com. Don't forget to download their free app. That will alert you to special shipping deals. Efforting Mr. Chris Baker to come on, but he's probably getting ready for the National Barbecue and Grilling Council's yearly event coming up later this weekend, stretching into the weekend. In the meantime, we race to the hotline and welcome back friend of the show, Sam the Cooking Guy. Hey, Sam.
What's up, my friend? How are you, Greg?
Well, we are here to make a grand announcement. Sam, do you mind if I lead in?
Dude, bring it on.
Here we go.
I'm happy.
Here we go. Much like Malcom Reed, who preceded you, is the first Tuesday guest of the month, recurring.
Go ahead.
Sam, the Cooking Guy, has graciously agreed to follow Malcom up and be the second first Tuesday of the month recurring guest right there. Look at this guy. A man with Emmys and books and talent and good looks.
Oh, God.
All this stuff, making time for the show, not once a quarter, not once every 6 months, once a month.
Come on now. Wait. Once a month?
Yes.
That's what you meant when you said recurring?
Yeah, did I not say that right? I've got you now, and the paperwork has been signed.
And I'm happy to be here. I like you. I like you. You know that.
Yes.
And whether your audience knows this or not, we have never met.
Never once.
And maybe we should keep it like that. Maybe we'd hate each other. Hold on one sec. See you guys. Love you. Bye. We just finished. So the plan was, wait, let me finish this. So we've never met.
Right.
I hope to one day. One day we will. And I look forward to it. but I like you, obviously, a lot. I dig your audience. I like the barbecue world. And I think what I bring is a decidedly non-barbecue view.
Right.
I think we all benefit from what the other side does. And I do some barbecue stuff. I don't do not nearly as much as, maybe your people do, but much like when I do a cooking class or something, I like to every so often to do a grilling class for women.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women go, you know what? I don't like to grill. And I go, but you should. There's nothing that says men belong outside and women belong inside. You need to be well-rounded. I say to couples, switch places every week, every couple of weeks. The guy does only inside food for a couple of nights. The woman, outside food. It's the only way that she's going to learn. And look, in California, the divorce rate is like 51 or 52%. People here last about 7 years and then they bust apart. So there's a very likely chance that a woman is going to find herself in 7 years without somebody to grill for her. She needs to know that shit. Am I right?
I mean, I don't know what the divorce rate here is in Cleveland, but it's got to be 87%. I mean, look where we live, for crying out loud. It's miserable all the time.
I mean, well, perhaps.
Yes.
Look, in Cleveland, you just like kidnap people, throw in the basement, and chain them up.
Yes,
so
that's right.
Maybe that's.
Thanks
maybe
for
that
coming.
takes care of it.
Where do you think we teach everybody how to grill? Get in that basement. We're going to teach you how to grill against your will, no doubt about it. I mean, the other point that you're not so making, but more and more, like if you look, I'll use the show as a microcosm to make my point. I would say over the last 12 months, you have never seen more of a female representation of the live fire industry than you have seen over that time frame.
Oh, hey, look. And how fantastic is that?
Christie Vanover is going to be on the show from Las Vegas, Nevada. She's closing the show tonight at 10:35 Eastern. She's already been on the show twice. I had Jess Pryles on last week. We have Diva Q. We have Melissa Riome, who's Grill Mama on Instagram. I mean, the list goes on. It's been well represented because they are coming to the forefront. They're not afraid. And, oh, by the way, they can cook just as good as the guys. Thanks.
I mean, there's nothing that says a man's domain is exclusively indoors and a woman's is, sorry, the other way around.
Right.
A man's domain is outdoor. Most, and I don't know what the percentage is, but really most chefs are men. That's changing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Many female chefs are coming to the forefront, but up to now, I think for a while it's been mostly men, even though at home it was mostly women that cooked.
Sure.
There's nothing that says a woman can't go outside, a man can't go inside. There are no hard lines. There's nothing effeminate about you if you're a guy and you choose to go inside and cook. There's nothing, what's the word, masculine about a woman who chooses to go outside and grill.
Right.
You should. We should be ambi-kitchenal.
Right. I mean, is there not anything more hot than watching a gal sling some steaks over live fire and then come back kind of perfumed in some beef fat?
I don't want to see her eat like a caveman. I mean, grab a giant
I'm just talking about the cooking part, man.
I don't want that.
No?
But no, I don't need dainty eating, but let us play our roles the right way.
Right. Of course. We're talking with Sam, the cooking guy here. Sam, quick question, and it's just yes or no. April Fool's Day gal or guy who likes to play pranks, bag or no bag?
I don't know what that means, but bag.
Douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's the stupidest.
It's the stupidest. A guy that I really like, it's an anchor on TV here in San Diego, did this thing. He went on his Instagram and he wrapped his head like in bandages, like what's his name in A Christmas Story? Not A Christmas Story. The Scrooge movie. Remember? Morley,
Albert
Bob
Finney?
Marley. Bob Marley.
Yeah. Well, that's not it, but I know what you're saying.
I don't know whoever the hell the guy was, and he was like, "Oh, this happened and this happened." And it was everybody knew that it was BS. I mean, come on, it was stupid. So look, my restaurant, not tacos. We're decidedly not Mexican tacos. We decided to do a Mexican taco yesterday just because it was April Fool's. But we said, look, yes, it's April Fool's, but instead of making some dumb joke, we decided to do something that we normally don't do. So here's our Mexican taco. And it was a big hit, but it was not preceded by a bunch of, oh, we're changing the menu to all Mexican. And I mean, it's just, nobody buys that stupid stuff.
Yeah, my embedded correspondent from Oklahoma once called all of his coworkers and said individually. So he calls Sam. He's like, hey, Sam, is Dave. I'm running into a little bit of auto trouble. My car's at so-and-so shop. Can you pick me up there? Systematically calls all of his coworkers with the same spiel.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, he's really at work. And then at 8 o'clock, all those guys start showing up at that garage to pick up embedded Oklahoma correspondent. And then he phones into the garage and says, go tell all those schmucks, April Fools, I'm at work. Can you believe that?
That's an HFB. Huge effing bag.
Yes, of course.
Huge. That's just stupid.
What are we talking about? It's
We're
outrageous.
talking about, like, hello, 5th grade.
Right. Dress up for Halloween guy at 45. My goodness.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man.
Now, let me quickly take you to task just for a second, because you had mentioned a few times Mexican taco. Is that redundant?
Yes.
It's redundant.
In my world, it's redundant.
Okay. Like you could have said just normal tacos instead of Mexican tacos?
Look, what makes a sandwich, Mr. Rempe?
I'm just asking. I'm not looking to get into a pissing match.
What makes a sandwich?
Bread.
Thank you.
Okay.
What makes a taco?
Ground beef.
No.
And
what?
And
what,
a taco.
Bread makes
a soft shell tortilla or
I'm about
to
not be a recurring once a month guest if you don't answer this properly.
Not.
If bread makes a sandwich, what makes a taco? A tortilla.
Yes, tortilla.
Does it matter what goes in between the slices of bread? No. Halibut?
No.
Is halibut
fish sandwich.
in 2 pieces of bread a sandwich?
Right. Fish sandwich. Right.
Is octopus?
Yes.
Inside? Yes. Is ground turtle a sandwich?
Yes.
Between two. Thank you.
Right. Okay. That's all.
So a taco is merely something inside of a tortilla. In my restaurant's case, it's pastrami, it's Korean short rib,
right?
Salmon, it's lamb, it's anything. It's mashed potato. There's nothing that says Mexican to me about a taco. And I've said this before, but San Diego, 20 minutes from downtown to the Mexican border, we did not need more Mexican tacos. We've got amazing ones.
Of course.
And this Jewish kid from Canada did not need to bring more Mexican tacos. He needed to bring something different and original, and that's what I brought. They're not tacos because they're still tacos.
All right, so quickly, because we've evaporated most of the segment, we wanted to talk about walks. I wanted to talk about walks. I said, Sam, I think we've actually might have talked about this 7 or 8 years ago, so definitely time for a refresher. But I've had, believe it or not, a number of people get at me about getting into walk cooking. So first and foremost, are there certain kinds of walks you want to buy or stay away from?
Yes.
What are those? And then how do we season those properly?
Look, okay. So this one is made by a company called Infuse. Can you see that?
Pull it back a little bit. Now over to your right. More.
No.
Oh, you're looking for the hand. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, Infuse.
Okay, Infuse. This is a $19 carbon steel flat bottom wok from Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't care where you buy it, but a carbon steel flat bottom wok is what you want. Don't let some salesperson in a store convince you that you must have a round bottom wok. You ever had anybody tell you about those?
Nope.
Well, they're a pain in the ass.
I've never had one.
Well, do you have a wok?
No.
It's because you're in Cleveland. You're too white. You need to get out a bit, my friend.
White.
Too white. Look, a wok is all about concentrating huge amounts of heat at the bottom. And yes, the wok purists that are, bags will say you have to have that round bottom one. But what the round bottom one requires is either like a wok burner or a special ring that sits on top.
Uh-huh.
And that's a pain in the ass, and who wants extra shit if you don't have to have it?
Right.
The most important part is that it's carbon steel. So this came to life and it was silver inside, like aluminum looking.
Right.
I seasoned it and I've used this particular one over the past like 3 or 4 years. And I say it all the time. If my house caught on fire, I would take the people and pets first, my computer second, and then maybe my grandmother's cast iron pans next, along with this wok, because I've got time in this wok. See the color, see the shine.
Yeah.
The color is because I've used it a long time. The shine is because I take good care of it. So you buy this wok. I'm telling you, it's one of the cheapest cooking vessels you will get. You can't buy a decent pan for $19. They're all pieces of shit.
Right.
Carbon steel flat bottom wok like that is not. You bring it home. It's silver inside. Now you're going to put it on the heat. Gas or electric, doesn't matter. And you're going to put the heat here, and the wok will sit on top, and you'll slowly turn like this with the heat. You'll concentrate the heat on the bottom and all the way on the sides, and it will start to turn. It will go like a weird blue color and then start to get darker. Then you'll let it cool. Then you'll repeat that again. You'll do that 3 or 4 times.
And it's just heat, no oil or anything?
Nothing at that point,
okay.
Right? And you can go to the website, cookingguy.com, type in wok, and somewhere in there will be wok seasoning directions, right? Now, once it's cooled like the 3rd or 4th time, you put a thin layer of oil in it, and I would suggest a neutral oil. No olive oil, no sesame oil. You could use vegetable or canola, but I would go with avocado or peanut because they smoke at a higher temperature, and that's what you want.
Right.
So a thin layer of oil wiped in with a paper towel. Then do the same thing a couple of times. Now you're starting to really make a difference in this. When you've done that a couple of times, then you're going to put some oil in the wok, blast it on the heat, and then I put in some garlic, green onion, ginger, whatever, that kind of stuff. And I cook it, and I start to mush it around, and I let the wok start to accept the ingredients that it will be getting used to. It's kind of baby steps with a wok. The more you use a wok, the better it gets. The darker the color gets. And this is essentially non-stick now after all this time.
Right.
And you can see, I take care of it so there's nothing in here. It's smooth and it's shiny. So you cook in the wok. And I use my wok 95% of the time for non-Asian stuff. I make tacos in it. I make rice in it. I make all kinds of things in it. Eggs for a whole lot of people. It doesn't make any difference. Shrimp tacos go in that thing. Doesn't have to be Mexican inspired. It can be anything. It's just a big ass deep vessel. So once you cook in it, and now you want to clean it, I'm a little anal. I use a bamboo brush. The key is that you don't use like a SOS pad. And try to minimize the soap. A little soap is fine. But if I've cooked in this thing and I've got something really stuck on the bottom, I'll put it on the heat, I'll let it get hot, and then I'll put, a half an inch of water in it. And that water will boil and steam and lift anything really that's on the bottom. Mm-hmm. And then you can use a wooden spoon if you don't have like a wok brush or something. It all lifts up, rinse it out, dry it really well. And drying it really well is important because water is a wok's enemy. It's cast iron's enemy. It's carbon steel's enemy. Mm-hmm. One drop of water left in the middle or on the bottom will turn to rust, and that's a drag, and you have to deal with that. So you dry it really well, and then I take a teaspoon of oil, put it inside, wipe it all the way around, and that will ensure that rust will not happen. And then you're fine. And then just use it. The more you use it, the better it gets.
It's
like a smoker.
Do you think that wok cooking outdoors is popular, or is that a segment that could become way more popular? And if it could become more popular, how do we get it to the forefront? We have like a couple minutes.
Well, here's the thing. A wok requires lots of heat. And so what are you going to use it on outside? You would need to put it on your grill and let it sit there for a while. You could absolutely do it, and I've done it. But it does take a little bit of time to get it where you want it, unlike a tiny bit of time inside, on a good burner. But we at the restaurant, I have 3 woks. Most of what we do is on a big flat top. Mm-hmm. But there's 3 things that we do in woks. And we've bought these exact woks from Bed Bath to use it, not tacos. We do our tofu and our veggie taco in it. We do our shrimp taco, and we do our Chinese cashew chicken taco in it. Because of how it cooks, it's fantastic. It gets super hot, and the cooks all know the rule. When somebody orders a Chinese cashew chicken taco, the wok is on the heat. You turn the heat on, you leave it for about 30 seconds. Then you put a little avocado oil in, and 30 seconds later, the chicken that has onions mixed into it and all the seasonings and stuff, then that goes in. And when it hits, it goes, and now it's searing and cooking right away and doing all the right things.
Yep.
I will jump all over someone if I see them put a wok on the heat turn the heat on and right away put the chicken in.
Right.
But that's like steaming, and that's not what this is all about. I don't need a good wok and a lot of heat to steam some shit. Just nothing.
In the meantime, you can check Sam out, thecookingguy.com. You can subscribe to his YouTube channel, as hundreds of thousands of people are doing it. As I had said in the open, you guys are really hitting the stride between time and entertainment and content. It's all right there. So good.
A year ago, less than a year ago, we had 30,000 subscribers. We're now at, I don't know, today, like 625,000.
Yeah.
And we've added 600,000 in less than a year, which is insane. Insane.
Well, it's a testament to
It's
content.
a testament that, you know what I think? I think people have started to say those videos, those food cooking videos that were just from the top and you only saw like a pan and hands coming in and out. I think people want a little personality, but be a little education and some conversation.
Right.
And I don't think I'm wasting conversation. I think there's a lot of, ours are fun, but I think there's a lot of teaching involved. Why I like the pan like this, why I like that wok, why I want to cook something this way, why I want to, do whatever I do. People like that. We are about teaching people. We want them to have fun and enjoy the content, of course, but we want people to go away and go, holy crap, I like that. I think I can make it. I like the way it was explained. I'm going to try it. That's our goal. Eat better at home, less fast food, less microwave, less frozen. It's that simple.
And on the first Tuesday of the month in the second segment, you will see this guy right here on the Barbecue Central show. It is Sam, the cooking guy. Sam, thanks so much for the wok talk, and we will see you again next month.
See you, man. I love what you do.
Thank you, sir. There he is. Sam, the cooking guy, a.k.a. Sam Zion. And he is a new recurring guest following Malcom Reed the first Tuesday of the month. So very exciting. We are a little late here, so I'm trying to figure out exactly how this is going to work. I'll just stop it, and we'll go late into the second hour. I'll talk to you quickly about the Barbecue Guru, makers of the world's best automatic pit temperature control devices, believing that outdoor cooking should be easy and fun. Because it can be, especially with the Monolith Barbecue Guru Edition grill. The Monolith is a ceramic cooker. It has a built-in power draft fan. It's the world's first power draft fan built in. Smarter control, greater freedom with automatic temperature controllers. Easily choose the cooking time, the temperature, and let the Monolith do the work of a sous chef or a barbecue pitmaster. With minimal effort, you now have oven-like precision at the grill. You can serve the tastiest, juiciest meals each and every time. Visit the website, bbqguru.com, Or you can call them and ask any questions that you might have. 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. Continuing to be a breakthrough in barbecue technology. It's the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru. All right, I can actually make this on time. We are heading... Well, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do that. All right, so we will wrap up the first hour. Stick around. Be right back.
Hello, everybody. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, host of Wine Library TV, a.k.a. WLTV, and this is BBQ Central.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, thanks again to Sam the Cooking Guy for joining me last segment. We are pointing to the second hour where we'll be joined by a special guest, so stick around for that. Don't usually have guests at the top of the second hour, but we will do it. You are listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Stick around, be right back.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
Boing.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me.
Fine, how you doing?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono. It's all about the charbono, dude.
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
But listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right, just like that, we are into the second hour. Welcome aboard. You found the Barbecue Central Show, and we do it live with barbecue and grilling talk here. Traditionally, this is where I rant about various whatnot. What did I do with, oh, crap. All right, hold on a second. Now we got to get to the guests. Problem with working on too many computers is eventually you don't make the same switches from one to the one that really counts. So I'm buying time here real quick till I can scroll down through my Google Docs and pull up my outline. Thanks again to Sam, the Cooking Guy, for joining me last hour. Also, Malcom Reed. If you missed it, don't forget you can sign up for the podcast and get it that way. Consume it whenever you want. Top of the second hour. Again, not usually for guests, but we'll throw caution to the wind this time. And welcome in friend of the show, who shall only be called going forward, Stover. Hi, Stover. What's happening?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me be a guest on your show.
Well, only because you asked am I thinking about putting you on as a guest, and we'll see where it goes from here. First things first, I've asked some folks about the Crazy Times tournament through the NCAA. Do you see a Final 2 out of the Final 4?
I don't even know one team in the NCAA.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
What is the NCAA?
We're going to play a game show. First of all,
okay, let's do it.
We have contestant Stover. Stover, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Stover. I am also known as the Barbecue Hunk. I'm a well-known barbecue personality, and by well-known, I mean 1,000 people follow me on Instagram.
Well, all right. We're almost there. All right, so let's play the game.
Let's do it.
All right, Stover, I'm going to ask you a series of basketball-related questions, and you have the opportunity to win cash prizes for every correct answer.
Yes! I'm so excited.
An amount yet to be determined, but believe me, it could very well be not life-changing money.
Okay. Well, I'm used to not life-changing money. Thank you.
Question number 1. What does NCAA stand for?
Okay. I've got to think about this. It is never collect a aardvark.
I'm sorry, that is not it. Well, that's all right. We'll continue on. Question number 2, Stover.
That was a fun game.
Well, we're not done yet.
Oh, shit.
Name one basketball team that is now in the Final Four of the entire basketball country collegiately. One of the Final Four.
This one I do know, Greg, and I think I'm in for the money.
Okay.
The Portland Trail Blazers.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
All right. We will race to the answer thing. And we do not find...
Andrew, you are not the five.
Sorry. Not the Portland Trailblazers. Of course, Portland Trailblazers is an NBA team and not an NCAA team. Texas Tech would have been the correct answer. Auburn would have been a right answer. Michigan State would have been a correct. Virginia would have been a correct answer. There you go.
The old Gonzaga.
That's right. Not Gonzaga. Last question.
Okay, let's do this.
Barbecue Hunk Stover.
Yes.
Name last year's NCAA Men's Division I overall champion.
Okay, can I phone a friend?
No.
I was gonna call John Solberg.
Who?
John Solberg.
Trust me, you probably have better sports knowledge than John Solberg.
Yeah.
A professed non-sports.
If there's one, I actually am the only person who knows less than John Solberg.
Great. That doesn't bode well for you.
I'm going to guess.
Yep.
The Big. His nickname is The Big,
okay.
and they call him the Big Steph Curry.
The Big Steph
Short
Curry.
for Stephanie.
Okay. Do you have a team name for that?
Yes, he is on the Global State Aardvarks.
Is that your final answer?
It is, yes.
Okay. Of course, we all know that is completely wrong. It was Villanova. Of course. You know it was Villanova.
Why would you ask me about basketball?
You know it was Villanova.
You know this. I don't know anything.
All right, here we go. Let's sum up. Stover knows nothing about sports, even less about NCAA basketball, even though we are in the midst of the most hotly anticipated 64 realm bracket you have ever seen. The last round was incredible. You have no idea what's happening. But that's all right, because we're not really here to talk about it. So, for everybody here, for Stover, for myself, here at the NCAA basketball trivia game, this is your program host, Greg Rempe, saying adieu.
I love that show, Greg. Thank you for letting me participate in that.
All right. I just like the clapping at that part. I mean, that machine claps like a bitch. You can't do it humanly. It's humanly impossible. All right, so, Stover, I wanted to have you on because if people are following you as Barbecue Hunk, I think my ear just went out. They may or may not have noticed that you are running a Barbecue Hunk Hall of Fame contest, or perhaps they didn't even know they were taking part in it.
That's right, yes. I opened up a Barbecue Hunk Hall of Fame contest a couple days ago, asked for entries, and it is now closed, so you won't be able to enter this contest. I have one winner. One person entered.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the person on the line right now. Caller, go ahead. Oh, well, there's no pay. Hello?
I have one. Hello?
Who's this?
Austin.
Who?
Austin.
Go ahead, Austin. You have a question for Stover?
I do have a question for Stover. You know, I've been following
You got to turn it down behind you.
Oh shit.
All right.
Is this one of my fans?
Come on, give me a break. He's out of here. I can't be dealing with JV callers. You guys, I tell you every goddamn week, turn your stuff off behind you.
Hunk. Why are you yelling at him?
I'm talking to everybody now. If you're going to call into the show, don't play anything in the background. Be ready. There's no call screener. As soon as you hear yourself or you hear me talking, you are on the air. Okay? Don't make me chastise you every time you people try to call in. You're going to get caught up in the echo monster if you don't follow my rule. He thought he heard me. Then he heard his radio. Then he got confused. Then he stopped talking. Then I hung up on him.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Let's talk about the barbecue hunk.
Was that the winner of the Barbecue Hunk Hall of Fame contest there? Mr.
No
Austin?
idea. I don't know. Was it?
Let's just call him the winner, Greg.
All right.
What I really wanted to tell you is that because only one person entered,
yes,
we're going to have a whole new contest.
All right. Quickly tell me about the new contest. How do we get it?
Okay. I would like to make, for charity, and I've been talking about this for about a whole year now, a barbecue hunk calendar. And I've been asking for submissions, so I need 9 more people. I already have 3 months full.
Oh, yeah?
Okay? So with peace and love, I
Peace and
need
love.
9 hunky men or hunky pieces of meat submitted to me on Instagram. You got to tag barbecue hunk. That's BBQ hunk. And you might end up in this calendar.
So,
Okay?
for instance, I could take the cover off of my brand new Weber grill, maybe take my own cover off with some tongs, maybe like a real slinky apron, take a picture with my new Pixel 3 and send it to you and hashtag it and tag you at barbecue hunk.
That's right. I'm looking for slovenly men holding big pieces of meat, preferably.
Oh, yeah. Love that. Sounds great.
You and I both know from selling barbecue t-shirts that there's something called barbecue medium.
Yes.
And that's triple XL.
I was going to say, that's 3XL where I come from.
That's
wow.
right.
Yes. I
want everyone to follow Barbecue Hunk
Okay.
and send your photos. And at the end of the year, I will announce on this show, I'm telling Greg for the first time, the winners of the Barbecue Hunk calendar contest.
And the prizes you are included in the calendar, correct?
You are included in the calendar, and lots of people will be staring at your body and meat.
Right.
Yes.
And then
It's a big prize.
How much money do you anticipate generating for charity?
Well, let's see. My mom said she'd buy one. So about $10.
One, as in a box? One box she'll buy?
Yeah, 1 box.
Wow.
My mom is buying 1 box of Barbecue Hunk calendars. And then you said you would go in for a pallet.
Yes, a pallet for giveaways for the winners of cheese or font.
You didn't ask who the 3 people were that were already included in the calendar.
I was getting there. Who are the 3 people already included? Are they the embedded correspondents?
You got the Barbecue Hunk right here.
Yes, right.
You can't give up this guy. Then you have the original Barbecue Hunk, Brendan Lamb from Fort Worth.
Yes.
He does Smiley's Barbecue.
Very hunky.
The well-known Barbecue Hunk, much hunkier than I am with my new dad bod. And then he doesn't know it yet, but Mr. Greg Rempe.
He
Mr.
is?
December.
All right. Sweet. I would love to see the picture you got of me.
I got it last year at the NBBQA conference.
Oh, yeah? And I had all my clothes on?
A little sneaky peek.
Oh, I like it. Well, hey, what can I tell you? Were you in my room that one? Is that what I heard? Scrummaging around?
Do you know? Yes. Do you know it's been a year since we fell in love, Greg?
Yeah, I knew it. I was just looking at that the other day. Somebody's like, oh, are you coming back this year? And I was like, well, let me see. Can I pay $75 more to try and get my podcast to win again? No, I don't think I want to do that.
One of my favorite moments of all time was revealing to you that you came in 5th and we came in 3rd on Best Podcast.
God, that was the worst. One of that might have been the second worst. The first worst, and certainly no offense to what were the guys' names that did the best the Rub podcast? Jimmy Shotwell and Forrest Goodman. Well, Forrest wasn't there, but Jimmy Shotwell was at I think we were over at Hooters. And I was sitting across from him, and he didn't want to rub it in my face, but he wanted to rub it in my face. I was like, Jimmy. So I just sat there.
I like you
as
just outed that you saw Jimmy at Hooters.
Yeah, I saw, and I it's a professional. There were a lot of other barbecue types in there too, you know. So I think GQ
I would never
was in there.
admit such a thing.
Yeah, I mean they have really good wings if we're asking, but. What else
do
do
you
you have?
think's happening right now at the NBBQA conference? Now that we're not there.
I don't know.
Do you think Yoni's there?
A lot of the same. Who?
Yoni from the Best Barbecue Show.
Oh, I totally forgot about that show. I don't know what's going to be going on this week. I would imagine a lot of the same as it has been for decades. But hopefully I'll get reports. Meathead's supposed to be there this year, so maybe I'll ask him and see what's happening. We have limited time left, Stover, so anything else before I let you go?
No, I just want people to touch bases with me at BBQ Hunk.
All right.
It's not just a bunch of jokes. I'm going to be doing a lot of food stuff from Portland, going to a lot of barbecue events again this year. And now that I've had a child, I'm even that much more dedicated to the barbecue
You had a
lifestyle.
child? Good for you.
I told you, I announce everything on your show,
Man,
Greg. Every life change I've ever had, I've announced on your show.
Yeah, that's great. Well, this is if there's no better place to do it, then you better do it here on this show. That's what I always say.
I can't wait to announce my death.
Well, I would love to see that. I mean, I wouldn't like to see, I mean, you know what I mean. I don't want to see you die. That's what I'm saying. But if you're going to die, I want to hear you announce it on this show.
That's right.
We've taken a creepy turn, and I want to get out of this immediately. Stover can be found at BBQ Hunk. Follow him. He is well over 1,000 with a bullet. And don't forget, if you want to take some saucy pictures with your person and a big hunk of meat, you can tag at BBQ Hunk, and you might have a shot of filling out one of the 9 open spots in the Barbecue Hunk calendar that will be sold for charity.
Let's do it.
All right, so we'll keep an update on that. Stover, appreciate you stopping by.
All right.
There he
Later,
is.
Greg.
Stover. John Dawson, not incorrect with creep factor to 27. I agree with that. Paul Shoddy coming up out of the break. I want to quickly tell you about Big Papa Smokers. Your best place for all your barbecue and grilling needs. That's right. Everything at Big Papa Smokers is handpicked by Sterling Big Papa Ball himself. Sterling pulling off a second at Santa Anita in the second day. Congratulations to Sterling and team. Whether you're a backyard barbecue fanatic or a competition pro, Big Papa Smokers has something for you. How about those great rubs and seasonings? Sweet Money, Cattle Prod, Cash Cow, Little Louie's, Desert Gold. Double Secret Steak Rub. That's one of my favorites. 13 perfectly balanced flavors that transform ordinary meals into extraordinary. Also, that great partnership with Steph Franklin over at Simply Marvelous Barbecue. They form the West Coast offense when used together or in combination. Owner of Granny's Barbecue Sauce. If you're looking for that new go-to sauce, go ahead and check out Granny's traditional yet powerful flavors. Also, aside from the premium selection of rubs and sauces, they have great cookers for you to choose from for sale. How about the Mac 2-Star General Pellet Grill? Big Papa's is the exclusive Mac dealer, and they even offer special packages if you don't like pellet smokers. The Old Hickory Ace BP is the charcoal smoker that Big Papa trusts on his competition trailer. They also have the M Grill from Texas. It's built like a tank for all you backyard enthusiasts. If you're not sure what you need, call them 877-828-0727 or shop online at bigpapasmokers.com. That's bigpapasmokers.com. Paul Shoddy coming up out of the break. Stick around. Be right back.
The only show giving you a monthly visit from a doctor of barbecue. A man actually named Meathead. The author of a barbecue Bible. Bloggers, reviewers, competitors, and manufacturers by the dozens. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Smithfield. Are you signed up for the Smokin' with Smithfield National Barbecue Championship? I hope so. Registration is free. Sign up today. Hit smokinwithsmithfield.com. That's SMOKIN. Smokinwithsmithfield.com for all the details. Also, a few spots left for this year's Smokin' with Smithfield Committee Cooks program, but don't delay. Again, the website, smokinwithsmithfield.com. That's smokinwithsmithfield.com. All right, my guest in my first guest in the second hour, very successful competition cook, also VP of Head Country Sauces and Rubs. Let's go ahead and race to the hotline, and welcome back, friend of the show, Paul Shoddy. Paul, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing very well, Greg.
Paul, appreciate you making time for the show, as always, and very excited to talk with you here this evening. So let's start with kind of where I left off with my last guest. About a year ago, we were all down in Fort Worth, Texas, celebrating and taking part in the 2018 IM barbecue for NBBQA. That's obviously refiring here mid to late week. This week also obviously stretches into the weekend. So know you're going to be a part of it. What are you going to be doing there, and what are you going to be taking part in?
I am going to be there, Greg, and I'm going to participate with just talking about what does it take to get your product to market, and hopefully educate people, what I've experienced over the years and bringing barbecue sauce to the market.
How many NBBQA conventions have you been to, Paul?
5.
5, okay.
Not too many, but, they've been significant over the years, so it's been a good deal.
How do you gauge what NBBQA is? Is it mostly people that are in the industry? I think there seems to be a little confusion on, if you were just I'm different in the case where, I could show up pretty much to any kind of barbecue event and get something out of it. But, if, John or Jane Backyard Cook wanted to show up during the course of the week, is there stuff for them there, or do you really need to be in the business or industry of barbecue to get something out of those first 3 or 4 days?
No, I would really encourage people to come and just learn, because this barbecue sauce industry is very competitive. Whether you're a competition cook or wanting to make sauce, seasoning, marinade, whatever. So come and learn, listen, and just find out what's going on, because I've told people over the years, don't hawk the house, because man, you can spend a bunch of money and just not make any. So come and learn and listen to the people that have been there, and I'll be there to tell people what I've learned over the years. I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I made. I want them to be successful and learn faster than what I did.
Paul Shoddy joining me here on the show from Head Country. Paul, I've talked about it time and time again here on this show when we have somebody that is looking to bring sauce to market. Maybe they're not even a small company looking to even get bigger, just somebody, let's say like me, who feels they have the sauce in the kitchen that they want to try and then bring out to the masses. 10, 15 years ago, you didn't see near the amount of barbecue sauce on the shelves at grocery stores or just kind of widely available in any store you want to. Today, you go into convenience stores, and there's a variety of different barbecue sauces. You go into the bigger grocery store chains, you might have a half an aisle or a full aisle of different barbecue and grilling accoutrements, and a large portion of that is barbecue sauce. So when it comes to barbecue sauce, Paul, how do you try and stand out, or how do you make yourself stick out amongst all the rest of the stuff, which I guess could be considered noise to a certain degree? You don't want to just bring a same kind of mousetrap to the party.
Greg, you have to stay true to your formulation and what you brought to the table. But I would challenge anybody to find something else in the grocery store that is more competitive than barbecue sauce. It's really tough, and you just have to take what your core is and sell it. Stay true to what you've got. Why did you want to bring something to the table in the first place? And just stay there. You can bring other flavors in, but on the other hand, I believe that you will just alienate yourself. So just stay true to your core.
Is there I'm actually kind of following a guy who is going through this whole process right now, and we're doing quarterly updates with him. He's just in the part now where it looks like he's going to get his stuff bottled, and he's going to be able to start bringing it out, trying to get it into places. We've talked about pricing and sacrificing of ingredients where maybe the co-packer is saying, well, instead of using this ingredient, you can use this. It's going to give you a similar profile, but it's going to reduce your costs a little bit. That's going to allow you to put a little bit more profit, make more money on the bottles. Certainly a lot of different things to look at from a sauce perspective. But is there a time frame that you need to consider as far as, okay, it's going to be an expense for me for X amount of time before I really want to think about turning a profit? Or is turning a profit something you really want to set yourself up for day one?
Well, I hope I answer this question right, Greg, in the fact that, I have a lot of people that come to me and say, people love my sauce. I make it, give it to them, and they love it. And I said, okay, then start saying something like, I'm going to charge you $5 a bottle.
Right.
Will you still buy it? And I used to not say things like that, because I didn't want to be, alienate people. But on the other hand, that's business, and so that's what it's all about. So if you've got special ingredients that hike up the price, make it more expensive, because as chefs like myself, you can grab ingredients off the shelf and go, put this in there and put that in there. And bottom line is, can you produce something and make it efficient and make it palatable for people to buy? Probably not. So you need to really think about what you're putting in your sauce or seasoning, marinade, whatever it might be. And don't make it so expensive. And can you buy those things? Can a manufacturer find those things and produce that efficiently? And that's a big thing right now.
Paul Shoddy joining me here on the show. Headcountry.com, the website. If you've never tried the Head Country sauce, you're certainly missing out. A bunch of different flavors to try. The original is one of my favorites, but also the apple, is it apple jalapeno or apple habanero?
Apple habanero.
Yeah, okay, that's my neighbor's favorite bar. I mean, it's 1A, 1B between Head Country Original and the apple habanero, but it's my neighbor's favorite barbecue sauce.
I don't care which one it is, just buy one.
That's right. Buy one, buy both if you're feeling up to it, right, Paul?
Exactly.
The other thing that I want to touch base on is, while Head Country is certainly well known for the sauce, there's other stuff that's in the profile or the portfolio that is really popular as well and really good that probably doesn't get the recognition it deserves, which is the marinades and the rubs. So let's start with the marinades first. I've never been a huge marinade guy, so how do you suggest people use the marinade if they buy it?
Greg, our marinade is great, especially on beef. And there's a lot of competitors out there that use it on their brisket.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're doing steaks, which is really becoming popular, it's awesome. It's a short marinade. Don't do it hours, 45 minutes at the most. And it's on the top, not an injection. And it's really good. It's walked many times at competition. So when I won the world championship in '94, I used our marinade, and I've used it many times.
All right, and then
go ahead.
I was going to say, and then you also have the line of rubs.
Yeah, we have 3 seasonings: our original, sweet, spicy, and High Plains Heat. And so we're known more. We have more than just barbecue sauce. We have seasoning and marinade. So I ask people to check us out because they're great.
Paul, let's talk quickly about the Head Country competition side of things. How is 2019 shaping up for you? What have you done so far, and what do you plan to do for the next couple months?
Greg, we've only done a couple of contests, Houston and San Antonio rodeo contest. We plan to do a few more. I don't compete near as much as I used to, but want to stay connected with my friends and colleagues that compete. And so we'll do some more. And I do some special events that I've been asked to do. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the last couple of years, getting ready to do the Kansas governor's wild turkey hunt. And, that's kind of special events, but I want to stay connected with my barbecue guys.
Are you out of the competition stuff as much just because there's not an interest, or are you just busy doing other stuff?
Well, that's exactly it. I'm very interested always, but just doing other things that people ask me to do. And then, if a competition comes along, and I've already committed to doing a special event, then I'm going to go do the special event, not the competition. So I just need to commit to competing more.
Do you have plans to do the World Food Championship this year?
I don't. There's one contest coming up, and if I, win that category, then I'll go back. But right now, no, I don't plan to do that event again.
All right. Paul Schade joining me here on the show. Paul, last question here before I let you go, and appreciate the time tonight. As I had mentioned through a couple different guests here and at the top of my show this evening, in 12 days, the nomination window closes for the 2019 Barbecue Hall of Fame nominations. We don't know who's going to make that long list of 9, which will eventually get pared down to 3, and then those 3 eventually get in and will make up the 2019 class. But if you could usurp all the processes and jam somebody into the Barbecue Hall of Fame this year, no questions asked, who do you think would go in your estimation?
Well, Greg, it's been an honor for the last 2 years to be nominated myself. So I'd love to go in there because I'm an inaugural member of the Oklahoma Barbecue Hall of Fame. But if I could nominate somebody for the National Barbecue Hall of Fame, it would be Joe Traeger.
Really?
Yeah. Traeger grills just done a phenomenal job. But Joe himself, a great guy, and just love people, and I just think he would be a great guy to be in the hall. So I'd love to be there myself one of these days, and hopefully will. But Joe would be a great guy.
Paul Schade is the vice president of Head Country, the website headcountry.com. Grab some sauce, grab some of the rubs, grab the marinade, which is doing very well in backyards and on the competition circuit as well. And Paul, always appreciate the time, and enjoy yourself at NBBQA this week.
Yeah, are you going to be there?
I will be in Louisville, Kentucky for a Junior Olympics volleyball tournament, so I will not be there this year. But maybe next year. It's those damn kids. They ruin everything, Paul.
All right. Well, that's what it's all about. So, Greg, always nice to talk to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. There he is, Paul Schade. Joining me right there, Head Country, and the website headcountry.com if you want to grab up some bottles of barbecue sauce. There's a place in Wooster, Ohio called Oklahoma Bob's. if you ever find yourself, dude, what is going on with the camera tonight? Last week, everything looked so good. This week, everything looks so bad. That didn't help anything. Oh, blurry. Jeez, oh, Pete. What a nightmare this is. How can it change this much from one week to the next when I don't make any changes? God, the color's all messed up. I didn't change any of the lights. I've had it. Hold on. Let me... All right, that's a little better. So, whatever. You're damn right, Kinger. It always looks bad. It always looks bad. Not always. Last week looked pretty good. If you go back and look at the highlights from last week's show, Jason, I think you would agree that last week was pretty good. It almost had a high definition look to it. I know, but I can't go any more than 360 because, you know, I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the upstream. I keep hearing about Google Fiber. No. Who was it? AT&T is supposed to be putting in fiber now. But they lie a lot. AT&T lawyers, if you're listening to me, I'm telling you, you lie. You say you're going to have all this great speed and everybody's going to have access to it, but nobody has access to it. You just hear about how great it is. F it. Whatever. Evidently, there is AT&T fiber that's going to happen at some point. Did you change the batteries on what? Everything's plugged in. I didn't change anything. Nothing. I changed nothing. When it's good, I don't touch anything. It's always the same. Except when it looks like it's different, like it does now. And I hate everything right now. I want to turn the camera off. All right, thanks again to Paul Shoddy for joining me. Again, headcountry.com. Follow me socially at BBQ Central Show on Instagram. Also, same on Twitter /BBQ Central Show on Facebook. Don't forget to check out YouTube as well. Over yesterday, we had a huge upgrade in the studio, and we put in I didn't do anything. I hired an HVAC company to install what they call a mini split. So now this, let's see, if I lay down, it's probably 10 feet long, 7 feet wide. 7 feet? That might be a little less than 7 feet wide. But let's call it a 10 by 7 room, which about this time of year, as we make our way into the more warmer months, as we make our way into the warmer months of the year, with the lights on, even with LEDs, the computer screens generate heat, and the computer generating heat, it will get probably into the 90s here. And it has really taken a toll on me as we approach into the second hour. Sweating. I'm always afraid you're going to be able to see like beads of sweat coming down my face. I can feel it on the back of my neck and rolling down into the small of my back. Well, this new mini split that's been installed on the wall has this room right now at a comfortable 72 degrees. Oh, my. Douglas, it is so nice right now. And I have this. I can set the temperature right here. I can control fan speed. It's its own little thermostat as well. I can control the louver. So if I was doing heat, I'd have it pointed down so it would go down and rise up. When the air conditioner's on, I have it to shoot down and fall because cold air drops. It's an Ameristar. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, if it's any good or not, but I kind of put it on layaway for a number of months. I think I started making payments on it in advance in November of last year. So finally got it all paid off, and the guy was like, hey, I just want to get this out of my shop. I want to install it. Thing's great. One day in, and we are as comfortable as it gets. Can't wait to see what this is like in mid-July. We'll see. All right, let me talk to you quickly about Green Mountain Grills before we get to Christie Vanover. These are some of the best pellet cookers out there on the market right now. They have a brand new model out, or a brand new line called the Prime line. You can see through the pellet hopper. You can see through the cooking chamber lid. Much more robust chassis for longer life, both on the Daniel Boone and the Jim Bowie. Both have the 12-volt operation that the Daniel Boone has. I'm sorry, that the Davy Crockett has. This gives you better control over fan, auger speed. Pellet consumption has gone way up. Pellet efficiency has gone way up. These things are great. Same cooking space as you were used to with the classic line. Also, if you like doing the pizza stuff, you can rip out the guts on the Prime line as well and drop the pizza oven insert in there, and away you go. As Jason Baker said a couple weeks ago, if you have something other than a Green Mountain grill, he has seen people kind of Frankenstein the pizza oven insert into their pellet cooker. Doesn't probably fit 100% great, but you know what I'm saying. GreenMountainGrills.com. That's GreenMountainGrills.com. And we are back with Girls Can Grill creator Christie Vanover right after this. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard. Monitor up to 6 different temperatures simultaneously. Connect to Wi-Fi for cloud-based monitoring, or connect via Bluetooth if you want. If you have Alexa or the Google Assistant in your home, you're in luck. Fireboard fully integrated with both. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. By the way, shout out to Ted Conrad and the gang. I know they're listening in this evening. We'll be looking to have Ted on in the next week or so, depending on how it works out for his schedule. So always thanking them for their support. Helping me close it out tonight, a competitive barbecue cook, KCBS certified judge, very popular on the social media scene, 45,000 followers on Instagram. Always looking to promote the fun of cooking over some type of live fire. Let's go ahead and race to the hotline as we close it out with Girls Can Grill creator Christie Vanover and park ranger. Christie, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Any jackal sightings in the wild or anything?
No. On Halloween, I saw a tarantula walk across the street, but that's about it.
Have you ever eaten a tarantula before?
I have not.
I heard
I try anything, though.
Dipped in chocolate. I heard they're supposed to be very delicious.
Maybe a little crunchy?
Yeah, crunchy. I guess anything dipped in chocolate, if you like chocolate, is probably going to be kind of delicious no matter what.
Sure.
So I've asked every other guest, and I certainly don't want to leave you out. The NCAA Crazy Times tournament is taking place. Do you have a final 2 out of the final 4 left that you think are going to move on?
So I'm not huge into basketball either.
You and Stover, what the hell?
No, I at least know the team. So, yeah. So I'm excited for Texas Tech since it's their first time being there. But I can't remember which 4's on which side.
It's Auburn. Yeah. It's Auburn and Texas Tech. By the way, both their first time in the Final 4, and then you have Michigan State, Virginia on the other side.
Yeah, I said I'm going to go with Spartans. That's Michigan State.
Man, it is tough to go against Tom Izzo. I think he is always kind of overlooked in the regular season, but I think he's got it figured out. Get into the tournament, your conference tournament. Do well in that. If you win it, obviously you're in. Or if you have a decent season, you can get in just on the general bid. But man, oh man, that guy knows how to coach them up when it counts, and they are on a run, the likes that we might never see again. So we'll see how it works out here over the next couple weeks. Anyway, so let's talk about barbecue season. And with you, it's fun because some of the people that I have on, they're only judges or they're only cooks, and mostly they're just cooks. But you do both sides of it, and you like both sides of it. So from a competition side of 2019, what are you looking at?
Yeah, for me, so I've got a couple coming up in May. So what's that, next month already? Yeah, I'm going to Sholo, Arizona, which will be my first time at that comp. And it's at a higher altitude. So people who've cooked at it in the past have told me to just kind of get ready for that. Because when you're cooking at a higher altitude, your temps aren't just, I think it's going to be more cooking to feel than it is to temperature, because your brisket, for instance, might not hit. Let's say you go to 205 normally. It may be done at a 200, but it's just really understanding that it's kind of that buttery consistency versus waiting for the probe to hit the mark. So that'll be a fun challenge for me. There's also an SCA cook-off there. So that'll be my first SCA cook-off. I haven't done a steak cook-off yet. So I'm going to give that a shot. And then at the end of May, I'm doing the Best Dam Barbecue competition in Boulder City. It's called the Best Dam Barbecue because it's by the Hoover Dam. So that one's always fun. That was my first competition 2 years ago, was that one.
How are you setting up for the SCA event? What are you practicing? What kind of utensils are you having? And what do you think you need? This is the very interesting question. What do you think you need to do or have your steak look like in order to give yourself the best chance at winning?
So great questions. Yeah. So I was following Grill Girl Robin when she was getting ready to do the competition, and actually I recently joined Cosmos Q. He's got a club, barbecue club that you can join, and he did a class on there teaching you step by step how to do things. So really enlightening, because I cook a ribeye all day long, but not like that. Like I'm going to be tying it up. I'm going to be using certain rubs. You've got the quarter turns and all that you do, but interesting that how some people flip. They'll put it on and then they'll flip it, and then they'll do the quarter turn or half turn, and then they flip it, and then so just getting all that down, practicing the flips has kind of been fun, and trying to decide what grill to use. I don't have a PK. I actually just got the new Oklahoma Joe Rambler, which is one of their new portable charcoal grills. So it just came out, and it's still in the box. So I'm going to give that one a shot and practice with that and see how that one goes.
Are you, dear, I don't want to spin off into a diatribe here, but so as a competitor, you've seen how competition barbecue has gone here over the last, number of years. And just from an outsider's view, looking into competition barbecue, it was popular, was growing, and then somewhere along the line, and I don't know exactly where it was, but it had to have been somewhere in that 2009, maybe 2010 range. Nobody wanted to deviate from the flavor profile that was winning. And I would sit here and challenge people to say, maybe it hasn't changed in 8 years or 9 years very much, if at all. And nobody seems to want to be the guy or gal to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to go completely out of the box this competition. And if it scores well, then I'm going to do it again. Then I'm going to do it. And that's kind of like the change agent of flavor profile. But it costs so much. There's so much expense involved. Nobody wants to play too far out of the box because the perception, and I guess the rule is you'll probably be penalized. You won't be brought up. So all the way back now down to the Steak Cook-Off Association stuff. Would you rather see somebody have, I think there's a perception that you need to have those quarter turns and all that stuff that you were talking. You got to have grill grates to infuse those grill marks on there. Would you hope that it wouldn't be like that? You could go with a flat top, or you could go with, it didn't matter how the steak looked per se, or have those grill marks in order to get the win, because I think that's what it's skewing to at this point.
Yeah, I agree. That's barbecue in general. If, when we eat ribs at home or ribs at a restaurant, everybody likes them fall off the bone. But if you're at a barbecue competition and they pull all the meat off when you take that bite, you're scoring down. It's just like that across the board. So yeah, with steak too. I'm all about grill marks. I think, I always say diamonds are a girl's best friend. And to me, my diamonds are grill marks. So, I love the grill marks on the steak, but you're right. As far as like shaping it into that perfect, circle, and it's not natural, just like chicken thighs. What we do to chicken thighs is not natural. But it's kind of the game. And yeah, I guess we kind of all conform. There's a few people who will throw out chicken legs every now and then, try to make things different, and they test it out. They test the waters. I think the guys who do a lot of competitions a year, they've got a little bit more wiggle room to test things out. Whereas me, I do I'm hoping to do 7 this year, and I just don't have a lot of room to play. So I'll probably be pretty conformist. Although I tried a few new rubs. With my chicken in February, I tried Susie Susie from Hey Girl Hey. I know she was on your show recently, and she just launched a new chicken rub that she never intended for competition barbecue. And I tried it and I won first place. So there's some new stuff out there. I think you still got to go with your taste buds. Don't just go with what every video says or what all my recipes say or what other people's recipes. Go with what tastes good.
Christie Vanover joining me here on the show from girlscangrill.com, also on social media handles at Girls Can Grill. So that's the competition side. What about the judging side?
Yeah, so it's hard to judge as much as I want to, because every time there's a competition, I want to cook it, and there's not a lot here in the Southwest. So actually, next weekend, I'm going to be judging what we call the spring training. Our Nevada Barbecue Association has spring training where the cooks get to cook and take it into the judges. They're all CBJs, and then the CBJs actually give them feedback live and tell them why they scored the way they did. So I won GC last year at spring training. So I decided I'm going to judge it this year and just give that a shot and help my fellow teammates out too, who are competing on the Nevada barbecue circuit, to just kind of give them the feedback from my experience. And then I have judged the Jack for 2 years. I'm going to do that again this year. That's really awesome, really amazing. I mean, you're sitting in there with a whole bunch of Hall of Famers. You're tasting the world's best barbecue. Doesn't get much better than that. I mean, the brisket is like, we need half points almost. The brisket is like so like evenly amazing.
Is it not fair to say anymore that the judges' discrepancy as far as experience palette is so drastic? I mean, does everybody have an idea what's happening there?
At the Jack?
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's also celebrity judges. So you have a range from like master CBJs to barbecue Hall of Famers to someone like me who judged the Jack 2 years ago. And it was only like the second or third time that I'd ever judged a competition, but I'd cooked at a competition. So I at least was, had that familiarity. But then there's people there who are like local newscast people and they're not CBJs. Well, I take that back. You have to become a CBJ before you compete, but they don't have a lot of experience judging or cooking. So I think there's a good diversity, but they do a really good job of splitting that across the tables. So your table's not going to be like all master CBJs and then the table next to you is like all newscasters. They've got like one newbie at each table mixed with the really, Hall of Famers and stuff.
All right. So from a location perspective, you're in Nevada, so like, West Coast area. Do you have a state of barbecue on the West Coast, in your opinion, on kind of where it sits?
Oh, you don't mean a literal state like California, Nevada?
No. I mean, like, where do you think the state of competition barbecue is right now in your area?
Yeah, we're a pretty tight-knit crew. We've got Sterling Ball with the whole West Coast offensive and the California teams. They all pretty much come to the Nevada and Arizona comps, and we all pretty much go to the Arizona comps, and a few of us travel from Nevada over to the California comps. So it's a pretty tight-knit group, considering how spread out we are. And again, there's not a lot of comps over here. So I think we see a lot of repeats at the competitions. I'd say more teams from California, a few more from Arizona, and then us, Nevada. We've got like 3 to 5 teams probably. It's growing. It's tough. I think when we start to see new people join the club and think about doing competition barbecue, it's expensive and they get discouraged when they're realizing that the guys winning are spending $200 on a brisket and they're going to Costco and getting their prime or sometimes getting their choice. So that makes it tough for people to jump into the game. But yeah, it's fun though.
Well, certainly. Otherwise, I guess people would do it if it wasn't fun. But usually, you're doing it because there's some amount of fun in it. Outside of the competition stuff, you're looking at taking some classes. One of them is actually going to be here in Ohio.
Yeah. So I try to do some barbecue classes because I'm always learning. I just finished Travis Clark's class down in Oklahoma. I think that was in March or so. I've taken Fergalicious class, Smitty's class from Loot and Booty. Yep. But yeah, I'm going to be going up to Certified Angus Beef. They're doing a barbecue pitmaster class, and it's a barbecue summit. So it's not so much how to do competition barbecue, but we're going to break down a cow. We're going to make sausage. We're going to go to a ranch. I've been an ambassador with them now, going on my 2nd year. It's just the high-end quality beef that I like to use, and so we're just going to really kind of get a hands-on experience in their culinary center. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's in Worcester, Ohio, right?
Yeah, probably like around the corner from you.
Yeah, that's right. Guess who's not going? All right. Well, whatever. I mean, I've only been here for like 15 years, but nevertheless.
Pack in my suitcase.
yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'll get there some way or another, whether it's in your suitcase or if I just show up and like crash the party. So we'll see what goes on. What is Cali in May for some type of a boot camp?
Yeah, so I'm going to California to Alisal Ranch, which is kind of near LA a little bit. And they do this barbecue boot camp in May, and I think in October is their other date. But I'm going to learn all about the Santa Maria style of cooking. So I'm familiar with it, but not really ever tried it. I don't have that type of grill at home. And Frank Ostini, who is kind of like one of the masterminds behind it all, he's going to be doing some of the training there. We're going to learn about spices and spice blends, and then just have a really fun time on the ranch too, like horseback riding, fishing, canoeing, and all that good stuff. So it's I think it's like 3 days or so, and we'll stay in a nice little lodge and just have a fun time.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about tonight is quick meals. I saw the other night you did like a quick little pizza. You got home from work. You know, we're all very busy. Kids that adults that have kids, maybe they're into sports. I mean, it's very easy to just kind of get into a rut of buying out. It doesn't necessarily have to be fast food, but you're not spending time in your house. You're spending money away from your house because it just seems to be most convenient. But there are ways that you can feed everybody, kind of make it healthy, and not have to continually spend the dollars because you are putting out money to travel for those sports and to pay for those sports. I mean, I'm in the middle of it, of course, so I can certainly feel the pain on many different sides. What do you suggest for like quick meals that are good and easy to make?
Yeah, so just the other day I did a pizza, and like a lot of times when people think about grilled pizzas, they make their own dough and it's really nice and it's really good. But when it's like a quick night and I've had a long day at work and I just really don't feel like making dough as much as I love to, I just buy naan bread. You just get it in your like deli section or where you buy your bread and all that stuff. And it's basically like flat pita bread. And they even have like a garlic flavored one. And then I just buy the jarred pesto sauce or jarred tomato sauce and throw it on with cheese. And I think last night I did mushrooms and a little bit of garlic and chili pepper and I just threw it on the grill. I threw it on the Weber. I think I was probably at like, I don't know, 400 degrees or so, but just a gas grill, just the Genesis, because it was 10 minutes. Dinner was ready and it was nice and crispy and the cheese was nice and melty. Another thing that I do that's really quick and easy is, you know, on weekends, most people listen to the show. They're probably cooking up big slabs of meat. They've got leftover brisket, they've got leftover pork, and you can only eat it like on a sandwich so often. So a lot of times I'll make taquitos. I'll just wrap them up in flour tortillas, mix them probably with like cheese, either cream cheese or pepper jack cheese, and maybe a little cumin or something, and then roll them up in tortillas and throw them over indirect heat for like 425 degrees until they just start to get crispy, and dunk them in some ranch or some salsa, and you're good.
Are you working on any new recipes coming up that we should be keeping an eye out for?
I'm always working on new recipes. Let's see, what do I got working on? Yeah, I'm doing a smoked chicken recipe that's going to be a little bit different coming up. I actually just got a new griddle that I've been testing out. I'm actually focusing a little bit more on some reviews. So I just got my Daniel Boone Prime. So it's in the box in the backyard. I got the Oklahoma Joe Rambler that I was talking about, and then I got a Next Grill griddle that I've been practicing some hibachi and different stuff on. So yeah, doing that. And then I've been loving the campfire. Right now for Vegas, our temps have been awesome, and next month we'll probably start to hit our triple digits. So sitting around a campfire when it's 110 is not the most enjoyable time. So yeah, lately I've just been sitting out there and cooking everything I can on cast iron. I throw my grill grates on top of a Lodge cook stand, and then I just throw my cast iron on top or whatever else, and it's been fun.
Campfire cooking. Socially, you can find her at Girls Can Grill on the web, girlscangrill.com. She is Christie Vanover. Christie, really appreciate the time tonight. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care.
You got it. There she is, Christie Vanover. Girls Can Grill. All I think about when I say Girls Can Grill is that 80s song, the Duran Duran song, Girls on Film. Girls Can Grill. Kinger, make me up a thing for that. You're fancy with all that stuff. Girls can grill. Girls can grill. You know what song I'm talking about, right? If I had my Spotify piped into the mixer, I'd pull it right up. Girls on Film. Smoking Joe's Barbecue Pit's in. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. All right, thanks again to Christie Vanover. And I think that's going to be it. Yes, Kinger, if you're not singing, you are not.
Andrew, you are not.
You are not giving me that video. You sing. You should be singing into a Booze Teen microphone. That would be even better. Girls Can Grill. All right, we're back to wrap the show right after this. Stick around.
Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to Christie Vanover for joining me last segment. GirlsCanGrill.com, at Girls Can Grill socially. Let's try and do it. Let's try and get out on time. All the way back in the first hour, Malcom Reed. To BBQ Right.com, Killer Hogs BBQ's pitmaster. Talked about deer, talked about lamb cheeks, talked about testicles, various other stuff. You know, I just wanted to say testicles. Sam the Cooking Guy is going to be stopping by once a month after Malcom Reed's segment. Talked about wok cooking and some other items. Second hour, Paul Shoddy, Head Country, joined me. He's going to be at NBBQA this coming week, so stop by and say hello to him and check out his talk on bringing something to market. Christie Vanover helped me close the show. GirlsCanGrill.com, at Girls Can Grill socially. Big show for you next Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.